Popular Celebrities podcast is all unofficial. None of the conversations or comments from us or guests represent DoD or the armed forces.
Good evening, ladies.
So speaking of making sure folks are mentally prepared for positions and such, you know, about a year ago, before Chief Master Sergeant Air Force Flossie got in the seat and Simsaf Bass was in the seat, there was a perception of folks around the Air Force who are not following standards, from uniform wear, from beards, you name it. And this perception was not only just a perception, but it came from across the enterprise, from all different ranks, from junior enlisted, senior enlisted, officer, you name it. And so now with Chief Master Sergeant Air Force Flossie in the seat and CSAF, the chief himself, Chief of Staff General Alvin, they came out with some information about a couple of months ago about standards readiness reviews. And so folks who don't know what standards readiness reviews is, it's pretty much an initiative for folks to get, I would call it, back to basics, to have your commander in leadership have you come out and inspect you to make sure your uniform is not only squared away and you're wearing it correctly, but not only that, to do an eye-to-eye, face-to-face look to assess your condition mentally, physically, and spiritually, and then to make sure you are ready to go to work and deploy if need be. So what I want to talk about is, it's amazing all of the backlash I've heard for these SRRs, status readiness reviews. There is a narrative, and it seems like it's mostly from the younger crowd, at least from my perspective, that believe this is a waste of time and a form of micromanaging.
Okay.
And the thing that baffles me is this not the military? Am I missing something? I mean, if you have a service dress uniform, how hard is it to put your uniform on, be at a certain place at a certain time, and have your leadership inspect your uniform? What am I missing?
So interesting. I mean, I do understand. I don't agree. Let me be frank. I understand if you have heard people say a form of micromanaging. I understand the thought process. I agree with what you're saying. This is the military. And if there needs to be something called a standard readiness review, it's no different than going out to PT and having a formation before you start physical fitness, stretching, or calisthenics or whatever. All this is showing up in a uniform, a particular uniform, and getting inspected. Nobody's getting kicked out. Nobody's getting fired. Nobody should be getting letters of reprimand or counseling or 15s or any punishment behind it. It should be, let me check on my formation. You're jacked up. You look perfect. Keep it up. Fix your wingman. Fix yourself. Fix whoever. Hey, guys, thanks for coming out. Almost like a commander's call type thing. Thanks for coming out. Appreciate for what you do. Everybody knows what they need to fix. Everybody needs to know what they need to keep going. Have a good day. Thank y'all. That's what I think. And I think if people wrap their head around that, if that's what it's supposed to be, that's all it is, it's not that bad. It's not, it's however you want to designate it, once a year, once a month, once a week, whatever it is. And for members of the security forces who we just got done talking about, it happens every day. So for most people, it shouldn't be that big of a deal. For the largest career field in the Air Force, it shouldn't be that big of a deal. For everybody else, they're probably like, what the hell?
Yeah, I guess what I'm trying to figure out is, why would people assume that is micromanaging?
I can see it because it hasn't happened before. And so you're looking at it as like, why now? Why all of a sudden now? Like if I've been in for 5 years, 6 years, 8 years, 10 years, 20 years, like why now? It ain't never happened before.
Yeah, I mean, I see that point. Maybe it's the shock because we haven't been doing it. And if in that case, I can understand and empathize why young folks would think this is a shocker. Anytime you do something that you normally don't do, it's change. Change is hard. But at the same time, I would argue just put your goddamn uniform on. It's not that serious. And then you see these posts online showing like clothing sales out of uniforms, whatever. Bruh, like, do you not get a clothing allowance every year? You're going to be upset because you're going to get inspected in your service dress blues. And you're upset at clothing sales because they're out of blues.
So back
Who cares? Like,
Ba-
that's your fault. You should
back
have
to
been had that stuff squared away. Then let me finish my rant. Then
yes,
it was
sir.
some maintainers. It's about, oh, these maintainers don't never wear their service dress uniforms. That's the problem.
Yep.
Just because you don't wear them don't mean you can't maintain them. It's part of your uniform wear. Rant over.
So I'll say yes, I agree. But this is the problem with most most things. Nobody wants to be the bad guy.
True.
And when I say the bad guy, make people do things that are uncomfortable or change. And so once a bigger guy or bigger girl says, "Hey, we're going to do this change," everybody's like, "It's not fair. It's not fair." To me, I'm just like, as we were taught up, you should always be ready with all your uniforms. Is that a little bit crazy? Yeah.
Yep.
Like, do I have my full service dress ready 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? There might be a couple months where I just throw it in the closet, haven't touched it for like 6-8 months, and it's just sitting in the closet. So I definitely get it. But all you gotta do is throw it in the dry cleaner. Now, if it don't fit, if you gain 40 pounds and it don't fit, and you haven't got a new one because it's expensive, well, in that progress of gaining 40 pounds, whether it was 5 years, 2 years, or 2 minutes, you should have had your stuff fixed to look at. I don't know why this is not working. Shoot.
We're not live anymore, are we?
No, we're live. No.
are?
The bad thing
Oh.
about it says, no, it's not crazy. This is how we were trained, but it's not coming up on the Streamlabs. Anyway, go ahead. It's something easy I can fix, but go ahead.
Yeah, I think in the end, I don't have an issue. It's just it made me realize how different things are. Compare, and I get it. There were folks who came in before us that was like looking at us like, "Oh, you mean to tell me they they use leather luster besides regular fit polish? They're lazy." And then we was like, "Yo, they're not ironing their uniforms with Stay Flow? How lazy?" So I get that. I
There we
just
go.
think it is to me is a clear indication of how young people are today. Not all. Not all. Let me be clear. Not all. But a good majority of our young folks that don't get the concept that this is the military.
Mhm.
And in the military, we're going to ask you to do things that may not be convenient for you, but it's to get after a certain purpose. And these standards readiness reviews are not just ways to think of to make you to make it inconvenient for you to put on another uniform
Inconvenient.
and stand at attention and have somebody look at your ribbons and pick you apart. It's not that. Can we agree that is a form of discipline for you to make sure your uniform is squared away? Not only that, security forces folks have been doing, I don't know if they're doing it as much as they used to, but what is called guard mount, where every day you come to guard mount and you stand in formation. Some days you may not get an inspection, some days you don't. But I remember, and I hate to be that guy, as an old dude, you knew that an inspection was coming sometime at the beginning of your tour. And so you would have your guard mount boots and then you would have your regular boots. You did not want to get caught short when they said open ranks march. You're like, shit.
Right. Oh, right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You don't want to be that person because it's not pretty. And the funny thing is, you can hear a pin drop in there and they walk up to you, they try to whisper, like, your boots look like shit.
Yep.
Where's your flashlight? your beret looks like ragu.
Right.
Get it squared away. And they
Right.
do that. And they just pivot off. And then somebody pull you to the side like, Council, your boots look like trash. I tell you. Anyway, so to sum this all up, guys and gals, airmen, big A airmen, it's not that big a deal. I'm going to get inspected in my uniform too. It's not a big deal. Shout out to General Alvin and Chief Master Sergeant Air Force Flossie for doing this. Or is it Flossie?
Anyway.
Flossie.
Sure.
Anyway, shout out to them for doing this. I think it's a great thing. And to add another cherry on top, if you got a shaving waiver, bruh, just get reevaluated again. It's not that big a deal.
I will say, look at Thomas White. In maintenance, we had the inspection BDUs and work BDUs. I don't even know what a work BDU. Oh, you had inspection BDU uniform and work BDU. Yeah, we have work BDU boots and then inspection boots. So you go to guard mount with one boot on, go to the car, go to your locker, and put on your work boots afterward, just in case they said, hope it ranks. Like you said, like, damn it.
Yep.
And you know what? The crazy part is, you know what's jacked up about you. So like, oh, they're going to, hope they don't see this. I hope they don't see this, but they're going to find it. And don't forget, for everybody that's having heartache over these inspections, one more thing I'll say, I'll be quick so you can take the final word. They are meant to put eyes on you and have a quick look at your mental health, your physical health, emotional, if possible, and all that is incumbents. It's not just let me get on you for a jacked up uniform. So don't forget that.
Right.
Any final thoughts?
Yeah. Like I said, just it's not that big a deal, y'all. I think it's a good thing. You NCOs out there, like you supervisors to the lowest level, do the right thing and make sure your troops are squared away.
Right.
Makes you know when, and the funny thing is, it's not like guard mount where you don't know when it's going to happen. You know when the SRRs are coming.
Yep.
Because we pick a date and it's every quarter and
Yep.
it's broadcasted.
Yep.
You know when it's coming. Get your people together.
Yep.
Don't sell them up the river and they just show up and they stuff is all jacked up. Final word. Yes.
Good thoughts. Shouldn't be that bad. My bad, I had a cough. Moving on. So let Thomas White get one final word in on this category, and we'll switch up topics. Two more topics that we want to talk about tonight. And it's not only the first sergeant's job. You're freaking right.
Mm-hmm.
He says not only the first sergeant's job.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
All right, shout